Did you know you can make your car's AC blow colder air like new again with simple tricks you can do at home? Many people think they need an expensive repair whenever their AC stops blowing cold air. That's not true. Today, I'll bust myths and reveal 15 hidden tricks that will turn your car's AC into blowing ice-cold air. These tricks are easy to do, and others are free. At the end, I'll reveal a mistake you should never do to your AC, or you'll face a $1,500 repair bill. Let's dive right in. Secret number 15. Clean your condenser like a pro. Starting strong with the component that's probably costing you the most money right now, and you don't even know it exists. Your condenser sits right at the front of your car, and it's basically a magnet for every bug, leaf, and piece of road debris that gets launched at your vehicle. But here's what they don't tell you. A dirty condenser doesn't just make your AC weak, it can literally destroy your $1,200 compressor. Here's how it works. The condenser's job is to remove heat from your refrigerant so cold air can flow into your cabin. But when bugs and dirt cake onto it, especially after they melt from the heat, it can't dissipate that heat properly. This forces your compressor to work overtime. And when your compressor gives out, you're looking at repair bills that'll make your wallet cry. But here's the simple fix that takes 10 minutes. Let your car cool down first because you don't want to touch hot metal. Then grab a pressure hose set to medium pressure and blast off as much dirt as you can. Use a soft brush to scrub away stubborn bug residue and any caked on grime. Once you're done, let it dry completely before driving again. Mechanics charge $80 to $150 for this service, but you just save that money with a garden hose and 10 minutes of elbow grease. But this next trick costs less than a coffee and kills the one thing ruining your AC. Secret number 14, the Lysol disinfectant spray hack. Ever turned on your AC and got hit with a smell that made you question every life choice you've ever made? That musty, moldy stench isn't just gross, it's actually dangerous. But here's what mechanics won't tell you. You don't need a $200 evaporator cleaning service to fix it. All you need is a $4 can of Lysol spray and 3 minutes of your time. Here's the truth about that smell. It's mold and bacteria growing inside your AC system, specifically in the plenum, where moisture loves to hang out in dark, damp corners. When you park under trees or go off-roading, leaves and debris get sucked into the AC inlet at the bottom of your windshield. Add moisture to that mix and boom, you've got a bacterial breeding ground pumping spores straight into your face every time you turn on the fan. But here's where the magic happens. First, remove your cabin air filter. We'll talk more about that later. Then turn your AC fan to the lowest setting and roll down all your windows. Next, spray Lysol or any AC disinfectant directly into the inlet at the base of your windshield. The fan will pull that disinfectant through the entire system, killing every bit of mold and bacteria hiding in there. Professional detailers charge upwards of $150 for this exact service, and you just did it for the cost of a burger. But speaking of things mechanics overcharge for, this next one will shock you. Secret number 13, the recirculation button trick. Now let's talk about the most misunderstood button in your entire car. That little button with the car icon and a circular arrow. Yeah, most people think it's just for recycling air. Wrong. But here's what they don't tell you. This button is your secret weapon against brutal summer heat, and using it correctly can drop your cabin temperature by 20 degrees in under 2 minutes. Here's how it actually works. When you hit recirculation mode, your AC stops pulling in scorching 95-degree air from outside and starts cooling the already cooled air inside your cabin. It's like the difference between trying to freeze boiling water versus water that's already cold. The system works way less hard, cools way faster, and puts way less strain on your compressor. But here's the kicker that'll blow your mind. Using this feature correctly can reduce your fuel consumption by up to 10% because your HVAC system isn't working overtime. And get this, it's also your best defense against sitting in traffic behind diesel trucks spewing toxic fumes. One press, and you've got a pollution shield protecting your lungs and keeping nasty smells out of your cabin. But wait till you see what's hiding under your glove box. Secret number 12, replace your cabin air filter. Here's a secret that'll blow your mind. That cabin air filter tucked behind your glove box is probably older than your last relationship, and it's choking your AC to death. But here's what mechanics don't want you to know. Replacing it yourself takes less than 5 minutes and costs $20 instead of the $70 they'll charge you. Your cabin air filter is responsible for keeping dust, pollen, smog, and even foul odors out of your car. It also catches leaf particles and small pebbles. As a result, it gets nasty fairly quickly. When that happens, your AC has to work way harder to push air through all that gunk. Not only does this kill your cooling performance, but it can also become a breeding ground for mold and bacteria that you're literally breathing in. Here's the truth. Most cabin air filters should be replaced every 12,000 to 15,000 miles. For modern cars, you'll find it behind the glove box. Just pop open the glove box, press the sides to release it, and boom, there's your filter. Pull out the old one, slide in the new one, and you're done. A fresh filter doesn't just make your AC colder, it also improves airflow dramatically. This is one of those 5-minute fixes that makes you wonder why you ever paid someone else to do it. But this next tip will change how you park forever. Secret number 11, park smart or use a windshield shade. Did you know your car's internal temperature can reach 118 degrees Fahrenheit when it's only 80 degrees outside? That happens in just 40 minutes of sitting in direct sunlight. But here's the problem. When your AC has to battle that kind of heat, it works twice as hard, burns way more fuel, and puts insane strain on your compressor. Here's the reality. On hot days, running your AC to cool down a superheated car can use up to 20% more fuel than normal. That's money literally evaporating into thin air. Not to mention the extra wear on your battery and compressor, which can shorten their lifespan by years. But here's the dead simple solution. Park in the shade whenever possible. After an hour in the sun, your car's temperature will hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But add a windshield sunshade, and you can reduce that temperature by as much as 40 degrees. That's a game changer. You can grab a quality sunshade from Walmart for as little as $8. Seriously, who wouldn't spend $8 to avoid third-degree burns from their steering wheel? Now let's talk about something way more technical, but just as important. Secret number 10, check your refrigerant level. Here's something most people don't know. Car refrigerant, also called Freon, doesn't expire and can technically last forever. But here's the catch. A perfectly sealed AC system is nearly impossible. Eventually, that refrigerant will start leaking, and when it does, your AC goes from ice cold to pathetically weak. But here's what mechanics won't tell you. If the leak isn't too bad, all you need to do is top up the refrigerant yourself. You can get a recharge kit for around $40 at any auto parts store. Meanwhile, if you take your car to a shop, they'll charge you $200 to $300 just for an AC recharge. And that's before they try to upsell you on a condenser repair or some other inflated service you probably don't need. Here's how to do it yourself. Buy a recharge kit with R134A refrigerant. That's the standard for most cars. Don't let anyone talk you into R1234YF just because it's better for the environment. Sure, it's slightly greener, but it costs 20 times more, and the old stuff is still perfectly legal and doesn't hurt the ozone layer. The process is straightforward. Locate your low-pressure port under the hood, attach the recharge hose, and follow the instructions on the can. This is one of the most commonly overcharged services at repair shops. Don't be the person paying $300 when you could have done it yourself for $40. But speaking of things mechanics love to overcharge for, this next one is hiding right under your hood. Before we dive into the really sneaky ones, do me a favor, smash that like button. We spent days researching these tricks that mechanics literally hides, and your like helps us expose more of this stuff. Done. Perfect. Now, let's talk about something that could save you money. Secret number 9, inspect your cooling fans. While your hood is still up, it's time to check if your cooling fans are actually working. Just behind the grille of your car sits the condenser. Behind that is the radiator, and then the cooling fans. But here's what most people don't realize. If your fans aren't spinning, your condenser can't do its job, and your AC stops working. Here's the simple truth. The cooling fan blows air over the condenser, which helps it expel heat from the refrigerant. Without that airflow, the whole system overheats and shuts down. Most cars have 2 fans, and if just one isn't working, your AC will still function temporarily, but not for long. Eventually, the strain will cause serious damage. But here's how to check them in under 5 minutes. Start your car and crank the AC to full blast. Wait about 5 minutes, then pop the hood and look at the fans. Both should be spinning. If one or both are dead, you found your problem. Don't buy OEM fans from a dealer. They'll charge you $300 to $500 for parts you can get online for under $100. Replacing a fan yourself isn't rocket science either. A few bolts, an electrical connector, and you're done. But before you close that hood, there's one more thing you absolutely need to check. Secret number 8, check your serpentine belt. If you drive a high mileage car, this tip alone can save you up to $2,000 in AC repairs. That's because your serpentine belt, also called the fan belt, connects the compressor to the engine. But here's the problem. If that belt starts slipping or cracking, your compressor won't rotate at the right speed. This doesn't just prevent your AC from cooling properly, it can cause the compressor to overheat and fail completely. Here's what to look for. Inspect your serpentine belt for visible cracks on the surface. If the belt looks frayed, appears slack, or makes a squealing sound when the AC is running, it's time for a replacement. A worn belt can't grip the pulleys properly, which means your compressor isn't getting the power it needs to function. But here's the kicker. A new serpentine belt costs under $65, which is pocket change compared to a $1,200 to $2,000 compressor replacement. Yet so many people ignore this simple maintenance step until it's too late. Replacing a serpentine belt is actually one of the easier DIY jobs. There are countless YouTube videos showing exactly how to do it for your specific car model. 5 minutes of work could save you thousands. Now let's talk about something hiding inside your AC system that could cost you big. Secret number 7, the emergency pre-cooling myth. Here's a myth that might be costing you hundreds of dollars without you even realizing it. You know that thing where people start their car 10 to 15 minutes before driving on a hot day to pre-cool the cabin? Yeah, that's complete nonsense. But here's what they don't tell you. This method is horribly inefficient, puts unnecessary strain on your compressor, and guzzles fuel like crazy. Here's the reality. When your AC idles, it uses roughly half a gallon of fuel for every hour. So that 15-minute pre-cooling session, you just burned through 1/8 of a gallon for minimal cooling benefit. Not to mention the extra wear on your compressor from running at idle speeds where it's least efficient. But here's the smarter way to do it. Get into your car, switch the AC to the lowest setting, and roll all the windows down. Leave them down for about 15 seconds, which is how long it takes for the AC to kick in. This lets all that trapped hot air escape instead of forcing your AC to cool it. Next, crank the fan speed to maximum. Once the car starts cooling down, roll up the front windows quickly. Raise the rear windows, but leave a small gap for a few more seconds to let the last bit of hot air escape. This method works way faster than pre-cooling and uses way less fuel. You're actively pushing hot air out while pulling cooler air in. Seriously, who keeps pre-cooling in 2026? But this next tip is something 90% of drivers completely ignore. Secret number 6, check your coolant level. Now here's a weird twist that catches everyone off guard. Your engine coolant has nothing to do with making your cabin cold, right? Wrong. But here's the truth. Many car computers will automatically shut off your AC compressor if the engine starts overheating. And guess what causes overheating? Low coolant levels. Here's how it works. When your engine gets too hot, the computer prioritizes saving the engine over keeping you comfortable. It kills power to the AC compressor to reduce the load on the engine. If your coolant level is low, your engine runs hotter than normal, and boom, your AC starts blowing hot air, even though there's technically nothing wrong with the AC system itself. But here's the simple fix. Pop your hood and check your coolant reservoir. If it's low, top it off with the correct coolant type for your vehicle. This takes literally 2 minutes and could be the difference between a working AC and a broken one. For now, just know that keeping your coolant topped off can save your AC from unnecessary shutdowns. Now let's talk about a component that fails more often than you'd think. Secret number 5, test your magnetic clutch relay. This next one sounds super technical, but stick with me because it's actually simple. Your AC compressor has something called a magnetic clutch that engages and disengages the compressor from the engine. But here's the problem. That clutch is controlled by a relay, and when that relay fails, your AC compressor won't turn on at all. Here's how to know if it's the problem. If your AC button light is flashing or your AC just randomly stops working, there's a good chance the magnetic clutch relay is toast. The good news? This relay is usually located in the fuse box under your hood, and it's cheap to replace. But here's a trick that'll save you money. You can test the relay without buying a new one. Just swap it with another relay in the fuse box that has the same amp rating. like the horn relay. If your AC suddenly starts working with the swapped relay, you've confirmed the original relay was bad. Head to an auto parts store, grab a new relay for $10 to $20, and you're back in business. Mechanics charge $100 or more for diagnostics just to tell you it's the relay. Then they'll charge you another $50 to $80 for installation. But you just did it yourself in 5 minutes with zero special tools. But wait till you hear about this sensor that most people don't even know exists. Secret number 4, the evaporator temperature sensor. Here's a sensor that hides deep inside your dashboard and controls more than you think. It's called the evaporator temperature sensor, and its job is to monitor the temperature of your evaporator core to prevent it from icing up. But here's the catch. When this sensor fails, your AC will either run constantly or shut off randomly, and the temperature coming out of your vents will fluctuate like crazy. Here's how it works. The sensor sends readings to your car's computer, which uses that data to turn the compressor clutch on and off. This keeps your cabin at the right temperature and prevents the evaporator from freezing solid. When the sensor goes bad, the computer gets confused and either overworks the system or shuts it down completely. But here's the problem. On most cars, accessing this sensor requires removing part of the dashboard, which can be a nightmare. Some vehicles let you reach it by removing the glove box or a few panels, but others require serious disassembly. If you're handy, you can test the sensor with a multimeter to check its resistance. A good sensor will change resistance as temperature changes. If it doesn't, it's dead. Mechanics know this repair is labor-intensive, so they'll charge you $300 to $600 just for the labor alone. The sensor itself costs $20 to $50. If your car requires major dashboard removal, it might be worth taking it to a trusted mechanic who can test it with a diagnostic scanner first. Now let's move on to something way simpler that you can check right now. Secret number 3, don't point vents directly at your face. Here's a mistake almost everyone makes, and it's killing your AC efficiency. When you get in a hot car, the first thing you do is crank the AC and point all the vents directly at your face, right? Feels great for about 10 seconds. But here's what they don't tell you. This is actually the worst thing you can do for overall cooling. Here's the science behind it. Cold air is denser than hot air, which means it naturally sinks. When you blast cold air straight at your face, it hits your skin, warms up immediately, and then just hangs there in front of you. Meanwhile, the hot air in the rest of your cabin stays trapped up high, and your AC has to work way harder to circulate everything. But here's the smarter way. Point your side vents toward the windows and your center vents toward the roof. This forces the cold air to rise and circulate throughout the entire cabin before sinking back down. The result? Your whole car cools down faster and more evenly, which means your AC doesn't have to run as hard or as long. By letting the air circulate naturally, you stay cool without feeling like you're in a wind tunnel. Plus, you'll save fuel because your AC won't be running at max blast the entire trip. This is one of those tiny tweaks that makes a huge difference. But this next one could literally save your life. Secret number 2, use your AC year-round. Here's something that sounds crazy, but is absolutely critical. Even in winter, you need to run your AC for at least a few minutes every week. But here's what they don't tell you. Not using your AC causes the seals inside the system to dry out and crack, which leads to refrigerant leaks. And here's the worst part. The compressor itself can start to corrode because the metal parts inside aren't being lubricated. Here's the reality. Your AC system uses refrigerant that also contains oil to keep all the internal components lubricated. When you don't run the AC, that oil settles and stops circulating. Over time, seals dry up, hoses crack, and metal parts start to rust. What seems like saving a few bucks on fuel can lead to a $1,500 to $2,000 repair bill when everything fails at once. But here's the dead simple fix. Whether it's summer or winter, run your AC on maximum cool for at least 5 to 10 minutes once a week. This keeps the refrigerant circulating, the seals moist, and the compressor lubricated. It's preventative maintenance that takes less time than brewing coffee. This is one of the most common reasons older cars need expensive AC repairs. People go all winter without using the AC, then turn it on in summer and wonder why it's blowing hot air. A few minutes of runtime per week could save you thousands down the road. Now, here's the number 1 secret that'll change everything. Secret number 1, the compressor clutch test. This is the big one that'll save you more money than everything else combined. Your AC compressor has a clutch that engages when you turn on the AC. But here's what most people don't know. You can test if that clutch is working in under 2 minutes, and it could tell you whether you need a $20 relay or a $2,000 compressor replacement. Here's how to do it. With your car off, pop the hood and locate your AC compressor. It's usually near the front of the engine with 2 refrigerant lines attached. The clutch is on the outside of the pulley wheel. With the car off, try turning the clutch by hand. It should spin freely. If it doesn't, your pulley bearing might be seized, which is bad news. But here's where it gets interesting. If the clutch spins freely, disconnect the electrical connector near the clutch. Grab a digital multimeter and set it to ohms. Touch the probes to the 2 electrical contacts on the clutch. A good clutch coil should read between 2 to 5 ohms. Anything outside that range means the clutch is dead and needs replacement. And here's the money-saving part. If your clutch tests bad, you can often replace just the clutch instead of the entire compressor. A clutch costs $50 to $150, while a whole compressor is $800 to $1,200 plus labor. Mechanics love to sell you the whole compressor because it's more profitable. But if you know the clutch is the only problem, you can push back and save a fortune. This simple test has saved countless people from unnecessary compressor replacements. How many of these secrets did you already know? Drop a comment below and let me know which one shocked you the most. And if this video just saved you from expensive AC repairs or made you feel like a certified car genius, smash that subscribe button because we've got way more money-saving tips coming your way. Now, if you want to keep your entire cooling system running forever, click the video on your screen. Trust me, your wallet and your AC will both thank you.